Hey YouTube, Dawson Rider here with a review of Ultra Act Gridman, or some of you may know him as Servo from Superhuman Samurai Cyber Squad, which is actually why I bought him. I know there's probably a lot of people like, how could you buy that? It's awful. Gridman is awesome, the original or something. I don't know. But if you know my channel, you know I usually don't buy Ultra Acts because I'm not much of an Ultraman fan. But I bought this guy pretty much out of nostalgia for Superhuman Samurai Cyber Squad, and because it was played by Matthew Lawrence, so it's pretty much as close as we're going to get to Boy Meets World, like figure art type deal. But I did that joke already. But anyway, let's just go ahead and get right into it. We got the packaging here. So this is my first time going over Ultra Act packaging. Oh my god, you can see the filming crew and the shininess. So it's a taller packaging than a typical figure arts packaging, which is interesting. You got a Gridman over here on the side. It says his name. I got the Ultra Act logo up here. Show logo. It says Gridman, in case you forgot who you bought. The back here is a shiny silver thing. Hello. I don't know if you can see me that well. Side name there. Side name here. On the back it shows the stuff you can do with him. Grid Beam. Gridman. And then his weapons. The Barrier Shield and Plasma Blade. And Dynamic Action. And Hieroglyphics. No, I know it's Japanese. Anyway, so that's the box. It's all cool. It's just pretty much like a figure arts box, but taller. As for accessories, he's pretty decently accessorized. You got 4 different sets of hands. You got the closed fists, which are right here, which are on him when you get him, which, as usual, I took off and put on his holding weapons hands, which are hands for holding weapons. And so then you got more holding hands here, because I think you have one for the sword and the shield, because they're different grips, if I'm right. See, that's the shield one, the other one was the sword, because this one's more of a squarish grip. Then you got some grasping hands. Right here, some grasping sort of actiony hands. And then on him you got the Plasma Blade and the Barrier Shield, which I'll show off once I get over to him. But I can show off its combined form right here, which I believe is the combined form. Yes, I do believe it. So it's pretty decently painted. They got all the details there. It's kind of got like a shiny silver paint here. And the blades are all like super shiny metally, which I'm torn about, because in one way I was like, that's cool, but in the other way, or on the other hand, like sometimes I see these type of shiny blades like at bootleg figures like a Big Lots or something, so in some way it makes it look cheap, another way it looks cool. I don't know. Then you got this effect part here, which you can attach to his wrists to do his blast thingy, because he's got the OG Samuraizer. He's way better than those samurai fools on Samurai. So let's just go ahead and I'll take the weapons out because it shows articulation anyway. Here is, damn it, another Excalibur. He's gonna lie down. That's what's gonna happen now. That's what happens. You're going timeout. Let go. There we go. So here we have Plasma Blade. Like I said about the shininess, it's kind of neat, but on the other hand, it almost makes it look bootleggy. But the sword's still fine. Also, it's kind of a flexible material. Like, I still wouldn't try to break it, but I like that, especially since I'm prone to breaking these types of things. And then here's his shield. Let go of the shield. I know. I'll give you your toys back later. The shield here, pretty nicely painted. There's a little bit shiny silver paint on the outside edge here. There's actually a little nick here in the yellow. You can see the silver paint underneath there, so be careful of that. And this can move, and it's all cool and stuff. So now we will take a look at the figure itself, as per usual. So here we have the head sculpt. The head sculpt's actually pretty well done. I quite enjoy it. They got all the paint down nicely. The red's got a nice gloss on it. The silver's kind of shiny. You've kind of got the compound-like eyes here, which actually look really nice. So the head sculpt's all good. And his paint job overall is pretty solid. Like, the silver's kind of got this almost shininess to it, which looks good. You got this little compound chest jewel here. All the paint looks nice. The colors pop well. You got the kind of shiny blue paint here, which looks like it's covered by a clear plastic, which looks good. Just overall, pretty solid paint job. He's pretty much a series of basic colors, nothing too intricate, but I think they did a good job on making him look pretty accurate and look pretty nice in terms of that. Just get one last pan. He's like, oh, where's my brother Sean Hunter? So then articulation-wise, you've got your nice ball joint up here, not swiveling here, double elbow joint, you got your swiveling at the fist, and then this shoulder piece here, you've got like the typical shoulder pad, and then this piece here moves separately, as does this piece, so I guess for trying not to hinder articulation too much. You got nice ball joint head articulation. You can't move it around 360, it's a little bit difficult because his like chin and like this back the back of his head here clashes with his armor, but you can still do it in some nice up and down head movement. Then you got swiveling here at the waist and swiveling at the chest. Ow, like pinched me. It's not quite as movable up here at the chest, but it's still got it. Ball joint down here at the leg, swiveling, double knee joint, swiveling here at the foot, and then you can't really go forward that much. You can see there's almost like a splint here or something. You do have the toe action joint here. I'll not show on that one because it's being stiff. But you can see it can do it. It's just being really stiff. Come on there. There we go. Toe action. Yay, toe action. Okay, oh, this little ball joint thing just came out. Let me fix that. There we go. So overall, pretty much like a figure art in terms of articulation. My problem with him is that he's loose. He's not like super loose, like I have some that are loose, but he is loose. If I shake him just enough, and like when I'm moving around with his legs, I can definitely feel the looseness. And like when I'm trying to pose him, I'll put like the sword and shield in his hand, and like I'll be like, all right, getting this cool pose, bro, and then he'll be like, what? So it's just loose enough that it annoys me. This came out too, but it's kind of bothersome. I have heard that Ultra Acts have the problem of being loose, not like they sleep around, but having loose joints, and I do have that here. It's not like absolutely awful. Like I have had some figures, even some like figure arts ones that are really loose, but it is still annoying, and I totally forgot to show this feature off, so we're going to do that now. Right here, this is where you're going to put the effect part in, before I go on rambling. You're going to take this tiny little yellow piece out, very carefully, like so. Like so. I don't know, I almost had an accent there. And then you put this effect part in. Maybe the other way. There we go. And then he's like, look, beam. So that's pretty cool that you get that. It kind of looks like he just popped like an abscess or something. That's kind of gross. This is Tosh.0. But it's funny because I do kind of like the way they have this going for the effect part, because you just pull this little piece out and you don't have to do too much armor rearranging or anything for like a special piece to put the effect part in. But on the other hand, it's kind of annoying just because you could probably like very easily lose this piece, and also it's kind of difficult to get out if you have cut your fingernails, because as soon as you cut your fingernails you need them for something like that. But so yeah, overall I'm kind of disappointed in the figure. Like I had heard that Ultra Acts had some problems, but he looks pretty decent. I'll give him that. Like if he's just sitting there like this, he looks pretty good. He's just overall kind of loose. But he is better than the I just knocked him over. He is better than the previous offering that I had to represent him, which is right here. No articulation and just kind of looking old. But overall, he's okay for me. Like, I was a little more upset about him at first. Once I messed around with him, he was okay. Like, he's got some decent weapons, and he looks pretty good once you get him in a pose. It's just kind of annoying to have such a wobbly figure at times when you spend so much for it. Especially when I've, bought numerous figures of this price range that have been a lot better. So overall, unless you're a huge fan of Gridman or Superhuman Samurai Cyber Squad, then I think it's a pass, really. I mean, it's not really anything special for me, but I'm glad I have it, I guess. I don't know, it's kind of weird, because it's like, you're not absolutely terrible, but you're not great either. But yeah, unless you're a huge fan, I mean, it's kind of a pass, considering the Ultra Act line is kind of plagued with these problems. You might find one looser than this. I know that Shuki's, I heard, wasn't as bad, but that's just because he has good luck and I don't. But anyway, I think that about wraps it up. Until next time, make sure you check out the Crazy Podcast for token news in the craziest way possible at WritersRangersRambles.com. Till next time, it's Dawson Ryder, signing out.